Here is why you're attracting toxic partners in a relationship. Firstly, you're lying about your location. Secondly, it's miscommunication or no communication. Next is about wasting your partner's time, where you don't be on time for the things that your partner invites you to. And you're wasting your partner's time by deciding on everything that happens in the relationship where it's one-sided. There is no boundaries in the relationship. You don't like the things that your partner likes to do, but you force your partner to do the things that you like to do. And lastly, you may pretend to like your partner just to get closer to their friend. And when you get closer to their friend, it could just start by the way you look at them, the way you talk to them. Here is why you keep attracting toxic partners. Firstly, is that you ignore the red flags. They might have cheated on their previous partners because they wasn't interested enough. And because you're not interested enough, they continue to do that. And when I say not interested enough, it means that they leave you because you keep doing the same things. You're not trying anything new. You're not going to new places. And you should travel to new places. You don't have to go far away, but you should travel to a different place. Okay, why you keep attracting toxic partners? Either you're toxic or they're toxic, but you want to control everything in a relationship. You want to control what your partner likes. You want to control how your partner acts. And it's better for you to realize that you can't change someone unless they want to change. Because you think that you're always right. And when you think you're always right, it becomes a one-sided relationship. And then that's why it's toxic, because you don't agree on the same things. It's either you or it's either them, but one of you will leave the relationship. The reason why you keep attracting toxic partners is because either you or them, they had a previous relationship which was really bad. And because the relationship was really bad, whether they were lying about their location, there was miscommunication, that there were trust issues, that they're bringing their trust issues onto this relationship, which isn't fair to the other person. But because of that previous experience in that relationship, that's what makes the relationship now toxic. Another reason why you keep attracting toxic partners is either because you waste your partner's time, or you're never on time to places that your partner invites you to, and that can lead to attracting a toxic person. And because you're not on time for things that they invite you to, this means that you don't like the things that your partner likes to do, and maybe your partner doesn't like the things that you like to do. That's what makes it toxic, because whenever you do spend time together, you argue over the little things. When it comes to the relationship and why you keep attracting toxic partners, is because you don't enjoy the things that each of you like to do. And because you don't enjoy each of the things you like to do, it just becomes harder for you to actually find things that you both like to do. But also, I want to flip the script a bit, where if you spend every second with your partner and you do the same things every single day, you're always with each other, there won't be new things to talk about. The reason why you keep attracting toxic partners is because you're leading on your partner, where you're leading them on, pretending to like them, and then once you pretend to like them, it's just to get closer to their friend. And this attracts toxic partners because you both have good looking friends, but you won't admit it to each other. And then when they start to look at them a certain way, they start being flirty, they start touching their shoulders, touching their arms in public. That's what attracts toxic partners, because then it's just like jealousy. It's just not talking about things that should be talked about at the beginning of the relationship. And because of that, that's why you're in that toxic relationship. If you want to avoid toxic relationships, you should be honest about what you're looking for, and you should be honest to yourself about if you're ready for a relationship. The other point I wanted to make is that you should question them as well about what they're looking for. Because if they're looking for a short-term relationship, nothing too serious, you can't have high expectations on them. And that's the same for them. They can't have high expectations of you if you can't tick each other's checkboxes. Like, what you expect someone else to do, you should do that for yourself. And toxic relationships happen when people don't realize that. And to avoid a relationship being toxic, you should admit it to your partner that you don't want to be with them anymore. And it's going back to the point that was mentioned earlier, that if your partner is no longer interested, just be honest with them. And then once you're honest with them, you can leave the relationship. And then that way you're not leaving on bad terms. But if you're not honest and you cheat anyway, it becomes toxic because you both spend so much time with each other that you end up acting like each other. And then if you end up cheating on your partner and then the other person ends up cheating on you as well, because they've been around you for so long, they're acting like you. And I wanted to make it clear that if you're with a toxic partner, or whether you're the toxic one, they're going to be acting like you. And even if they don't cheat, they're more likely to cheat because they've been seeing how you act, and then they're just mirroring how you are like. If you want to avoid attracting toxic partners, you're going to have to stop ignoring the red flags earlier on in a relationship. Because if you're new to a relationship and you're in a relationship with someone that's toxic, you can just admit it that you don't like this red flag that they have, that they just lie about their location and they're dressed in a certain way to attract more attention. It's better for you to say, I don't like this. To avoid toxic relationships, you shouldn't ignore the red flags at the start of the relationship. This can include being honest about what you don't like, and if they don't change their behavior, you should be able to walk away. And you mean what you say as well. You say what you mean, and you mean what you say. That if you say you're going to walk away, you should walk away. As you may know, in toxic relationships can lead to arguments, and the reason why arguments are always happening is because people just don't seem to get along. They don't seem to listen to what the other person has to say. And to avoid a toxic relationship, you should make sure that you don't ignore the red flags earlier on in a relationship, and you should know when to leave in an argument. You should know when to distance yourself and say to your partner that you need space. The last point that I wanted to make is that you should keep yourself busy with daily activities so that way you can respond to your partner whenever you can and not pretend to be busy, and that will make the relationship not toxic.